now. Thank you. Now, going over to the Culture Pod podcast, you have David Hogg. Support for Ukraine retweet is ratioed beyond all belief. Now, this is thanks to his individual X or Twitter profile. And just going to his profile, let me see here. Now, Mr. David Hogg describes himself as a president, leaders we deserve, a March Our Lives founder and board member. He has 1.2 million followers. And he has a big orange square in his name. Let me see here. And he specifically said, quote, if Ukraine fails, again, my speaking ineptitudes, there are many. Some might debate there were more in the past. However, if you click the subscribe button, it may very well help assist me in my speaking improvements and my decreasing of those ineptitudes. Help me slow down a little bit with my pace of speech, maybe be a little bit more enunciation better, less stumbling over the words. I can't help but notice, when I first started the show, very little subscribers, and I made a lot more speaking blunders. Now, it's been a modicum of improvement as the subscriber count has gone up. So, if you click that button again, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Back to my attempt at the quote from David Hogg on X Twitter. He says, quote, if Ukraine falls, it sends an extremely dangerous message to autocrats around the world. It's expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than World War III. We cannot give up on Ukraine. Putin must be stood up to. Unquote. And that got viral, as you might say. 1.2 million views, and yet, ratio to say the least, it got 8.3 thousand likes, which is basically nothing. Not to brag, but on my video last week, I got 13 likes on a video. Though I would also argue for my audience, it is all about quality over quantity. We always have the best folks that are tuning into the show. Now, do a little bit of fun math here today. Interestingly enough, public schools in the United States have a 32-year low for ACT scores, and yet they say teachers deserve more money. Teachers unions, fascinating their lack of performance, but they want more money. Nevertheless, since the schools are so utterly inept, for the most part, we'll do a little bit of fun math here today. So, Mr. David Hogg got 8,300 likes. And again, these statistics were wrote down 48 hours after he had actually tweeted. So, it's had time to brew, so to say. It says 8,300 likes divided by 1.2 million views. That gives us 6.91 e to the negative 4. So we're going to turn that into a percentage. So you multiply that by 100. That gives us 0.069166 repeating like ratio. Now, if you feel so inclined, we'll be generous. We'll round up a little bit for him. So 0.07% of the people who saw his statement liked it. Also known as nothing. Now, going to the top comments here, you have Tristan Tate chiming in. He says, quote, fly to Romania. I'll get you across the border so you could sign up and fight. Won't be a problem, buddy. Unquote, getting 16,000 likes. That is perhaps the best ratio I've seen all year. Bar none. Now I also have America Memed. He says, quote, we don't care for Ukraine or Russia. It's not our problem. If you care for it so much, how about you go and volunteer for Ukraine? Unquote, getting 1.5 thousand likes. I mean, we've already given them about $200 billion between cash, weapons, and other physical gear. $200 billion. And yet, we still have broken streets, homeless people, and veterans who need help in the United States. But we gave them $200 billion. I would also love to have a challenge. Perhaps let me know if you'd be interested in me doing street interviews. Maybe just going to people on the street and asking them, can you point out Ukraine on a map? And then tell me their top 10 exports and tell me the top 3 things they export to the United States. Again, I'd be fascinated to see how many people who have the Ukraine pin on their lapels and on their profiles, how many of them could identify those things? And then how could they justify the strategic value of the Ukraine to the United States? I'd be fascinated to see if they have any answer at all. Now and again, it's also one of the most corrupt nations on the planet. I mean, even CNN and Washington Post, some of the traditionally much more left-leaning medias, prior to the whole Russia-Ukraine conflict, or war, whatever you want to call it, they all critique Ukraine for being so utterly corrupt. And now everyone's pretending they're, all all trustworthy. Now, going back to a couple comments here. Jeremy says, quote, "This is literally you. Send guns to Ukraine, ban guns in U.S. and the two buttons." I got 827 likes. Actually, let me pull up David Hogg's profile and follow him really quick. Because again, I'm pretty sure he's a famous anti-gunner. Which, granted, I'm one of those folks who believe that everyone should have the ability to defend themselves and their family. That's a God-given right. The government shouldn't take that away from you. That being said, I want more information, more viewpoints, the better. So he seems to be an anti-gun, contrary, or someone who's very anti-gun. So it'd be interesting to follow him and see what his perspective is, no matter how mentally vacuous they might be. Going back to the comment section, Koran Dog says, quote, "So when are you signing up to help?" Unquote, getting 777 likes. Riley says, quote, "I vote yes to sending David to go fight the front lines." Unquote, getting 389 likes. Rose of Sharon Mayer says, quote, "Ukraine fell a long while ago, buddy. Are you sure you went to Harvard?" Unquote, getting 446 likes. Although, hilariously enough, the public cultural perception of Harvard has dropped so much in the past 36 months. I almost wonder how many people really respect a Harvard degree anymore. Another topic for another time, perhaps. I'm trying to see if there's anyone who agrees with them thus far. Well, let's see here. Conservative Patriot Pizza bitch. I don't want to say F- for marketing, but she's not even holding up a slice of pizza. Nevertheless, this alleged pizza fan says, quote, "You're one of the youngest but dirtiest scumbags America has to offer. You are a warmongering piece of shit." Unquote, getting 908 likes. Let's see. A lot of people saying Ukraine fell long ago. A lot of people saying Ukraine had been, historically a long historically had been united with Russia for a while. Military Arms is saying, quote, "Well, Davey, it's time to STFU and enlist. Your demented buddy at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue will be sending more than money there here soon. Put your money where your mouth is." I'm quoting 641 likes. See a lot of people telling him to go and fight if he wants to. A lot of people pointing out the hypocrisy of him wanting to ban guns while at the same time giving the Ukrainian citizens all the guns we have and unprecedented firepower. I mean, it's fascinating to see how quickly a country will go from anti-gun to pro-gun when all of a sudden they're about to be invaded or they're in a conflict. And we've seen this also with other countries like Israel. They very quickly became very pro-gun for the mass populace. Now, a great way to fend off bad guys in general would be to have an armed populace, like the United States. Or, I should say, most states in the United States. A lot of people saying they'll buy a plane ticket to go fly out there and fight. Let's see here. Let's see. Lord Radendorf Books says, quote, "Tucker Carlson has just left for the Kremlin." Carlson quoted Putin. Putin said, quote, "Yes, David Hogg is on our payroll for propaganda. His codename is Little D," unquote, getting 62 likes. So again, this is a fascinating cultural shift in the United States where throughout my lifetime we've seen less and less public support for more increased in war conflicts and supporting other countries. Again, it's not a majority of the United States or even 51% at this point, I wouldn't think. But it'll be interesting to see as we see a decrease in the consumer, in this case, the customer and the consumer's U.S. citizenship. There's a decreased amount that actually wants to support those types of conflicts and put more resources to other countries than we do in the United States. But will that actually change any public policy? That'll be interesting to see. Let's just say I'm pessimistic to say the least. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of February, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or just a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, and sharing also does help with the magical YouTube algorithm. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.